Hi y'all, welcome back to Biz Vibe. I'm Vivian Camille, and today we are talking about the Hoka One One Speedgoat 3! I love these shoes. Hoka continues to amaze me with the shoes they put out. I used to think that I was a more minimal shoe kind of runner, and then somehow my foot found its way into one of these, and I really have not turned back. These are now my favorite trail running shoes, and I think it's gonna take a really, really good shoe to surpass them. So initially when I got this shoe, I thought I'd be running on trail in like a high heel, and that's just not the case. These are a really stable shoe given the stack and the way the shoe secures your foot. There's really no high heel feel at all. As a matter of fact. For me, this shoe has been great because it is a bit narrower up here and it really fits my foot pretty snugly, which I like. I didn't want this shoe to be unwieldy like I thought it would be, and it hasn't been because of that. The construction of the shoe is solid. This netting up here is really great. It's pretty thick, but decently breathable. And then they've also added this rubberized kind of material here, and that protects against a lot of rocks. So I like that. That hasn't been torn at all, and I'm a big fan. Again, this is all constructed in a way to really lock your foot into place and keep you stable while you're running. My favorite thing about this shoe is two things. I love how they fit. Hokas are seriously like stepping into a marshmallow, and I love that. But for this shoe specifically, I love the traction pattern and how much traction it provides on trail. Recently, I made a video about these La Sportivas. Great mountain running shoe with amazing traction, but the Hoka One One Speedgoat 3 is very comparable and has grip on almost any surface. I have run on pretty much everything I can think of out here, and it has never failed me once. This outsole is what they call the Vibram Mega Grip, and I would 100% endorse it. Obviously, this is not a minimal shoe. I would call the La Sportiva Bushido a bit more minimal, but when it comes to weight, this shoe weighs 10.5 ounces, and this beats it by coming in at 9.1 ounces. So this is a bit lighter, which is always good on trail. This shoe doesn't have a lot of give in it, which I kind of like because it also doesn't have a rock plate, so it makes sure that your foot is stabilized on the rocks and still protected with that firm foam. However, the foam does provide a good amount of cushion, so you're not running on a brick of cement. You're lightly cushioned as you step and jump and frolic amongst the rocks and trail. So I've run just under 200 miles in these. I did the Bandera 100K in these shoes, and they've held up really well and don't seem to be fazed by any of the rocky terrain I do out here in Tucson. I feel like Tucson is a really good test for any and all shoe for durability because you go through shoes pretty quickly out here. The rocks are so sharp and cut through shoes and material pretty quickly. But these shoes have stood the test of time at this point. As you can see, the lugs have hardly worn away. They're still really well defined and still maintain a good pattern. I haven't had like sometimes one lug will just like disappear, I guess because of the way I run, but these have really held up. Along with that, the material is really meaty. I feel like this mesh is just thick and kind of burly, which, like I said, is still breathable, but could be scary to someone who hears that. The tongue is also pretty thick, but all that creates a really durable shoe. The one thing that hasn't been as durable as the rest of the shoe is this foam here. If you look real close, it's starting to come up just a little bit, and right in here, it's come up a bit as well, but that can happen in your first run hitting a rock pretty hard, I feel like. That being said, overall, this is a very durable shoe. Since Hoka tends to be a bit more on the expensive side, I appreciate that it's durable and will hold up. This is a marvelous overall trail running shoe, and it's handled the Southern Arizona trails wonderfully. Much better than some of the other shoes I've tried. When it comes to sizing, I've mentioned before, these are a bit more narrow. They're true to size with just US sizing. I wear a 7.5, these are 7.5, they fit perfect. And by perfect, I mean they have a bit of room at that end of the toe box area, which is good for not losing your toenails. If you have a wider foot, you might want to consider the Speedgoat 4s. As always, if your feet start falling asleep in these shoes, make sure to loosen up the laces before you return them or think poorly of them. The shoelaces come pretty tight out of the box, and I know my feet fell asleep the first time I wore them. I love a good bold shoe, so I count that as a strength for this shoe. They come in a lot of fun colors. I like to keep things zesty on trail. They also have this back pull tab, which is always great for getting your shoe on easily. I do like the laces because they're extra long and they have a little bit of give in them. Not a whole lot, but a little bit, which is great. They match the shoe! And for me, this is a perfect shoe because it is a bit more narrow. I'm a flight attendant, I travel often. These are really hard shoes to pack. Hokas in general just take up a lot of space. They don't weigh much, but they take up half your darn suitcase. So don't recommend it for traveling. And second, if you do have a wide foot, these shoes may give you trouble. They may not, but they may. To wrap it up, if you're looking for a great all-around trail running shoe, I would highly recommend these. I've loved them. There is a newer version, the Speedgoat 4, with a couple different variations and changes in those shoes. If you're interested in the Speedgoat origin, you can check out a fun video I'll link down below. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel if in fact you liked it and would like to subscribe. That's all I have. Happy trails! I feel like a gecko on a window. It's really cool. I went down this like wash today and it was all concrete slab and it was super steep and these things just like latched on and I could feel it and I could also hear it go. It was really great.